Hello everyone, I'm Arthur here. I'm here to present you with my vicious Stamina Nightblade build. It's a build that I absolutely love, particularly for Battlegrounds. I've tested it so much in there. In fact, ever since the launch of Morrowind, I've done nothing but play Battlegrounds. It's been really fun to play, really powerful, really bursty. Really nagging as well with all its dots. It applies 4 dots at the same time, and also it sustains really well. And it's not squishy at all, despite being a Nightblade. So without further ado, let me present you my vicious Stamina Nightblade build, specifically for Battlegrounds, but great for even better for CP campaigns and dueling. Right, so let's start off with my gear. Now my main 2 sets are Shackle Breaker and boots and Sheer Venom. Right, let's start off with Shackle Breaker. Now Shackle Breaker, what's so good about it is that it gives you both magicka and stamina recovery, as well as pumping up your stamina and magicka pools at the same time. Stamina Nightblades are probably the stamina class that uses the most magicka, so I cannot emphasize strong enough just how important it is that you have a decent magicka pool and also decent magicka regeneration. With this build, I managed to fear and cloak away from one end of the map to the other without running out of resources. If I'm struggling a little bit and I'm down with resources either in stamina or in magicka, I just pop a tri-stat and I'm good to go again. So I just cannot emphasize how good this set is. As soon as it's been announced during the PTS stage of the Morrowind patch, my heart went out to it straight away, and I thought to myself, as soon as Morrowind comes out, I am gonna get this set and use it with my Stamina Nightblade, and it's been absolutely fantastic. The other set that I'm using is Sheer Venom. Now the Sheer Venom set is a pain to farm. It is a set that drops in Imperial City Prison. Now you can farm it with a group, or you can do like me and just spend tons of gold and buy all sorts of key shards and use them to open the chests and pray to the gods of RNG to get the pieces that you want. I've got 3 jewelry pieces, necklace and 2 rings, and then I've got 1 boot impenetrable and 1 belt impenetrable as well. You want to go full impen with this set. You don't need divines, you don't need well fitted, because again you've got a decent amount of stamina as well as stamina regeneration. Now my my 2-hand is sharpened, my bow is defending, and I'm playing a lot with poisons. Okay, now we've got damage, health, poisons at the back, and the really bastard ones at the front, damage, magicka and stamina poisons. Now I've only just started using these because I'm fed up of coming across really tanky builds. They just sit there perma blocking and healing themselves. So when I'm faced by someone like this, or a soak that just keeps on shield stacking, I start lighting attack with my 2-hand and just see their resources drain until they can't cast any shields anymore, or they can't block anymore, or they can't break my CC anymore, and then I finish them off. Then my only monster set piece is Blood Spawn Mask, and this for the nice stamina recovery bonus. Now I've got triglyph enchantments on my largest pieces, so head, chest and legs. Now as far as my consumables, I use Jewels of Misrule. They go really well with Shackle Breaker. Again, Shackle Breaker gives you not only Magicka and Stamina regeneration, but it gives you Magicka and Stamina. Now, initially I thought of using, for this particular bit, instead of Shackle Breaker, I thought about using Bone Pirate. The problem with Bone Pirate is, yes, it gives me a nice Magicka pool, and yes, when I use it with Dubious Camera and Throne, I get, again, not only stamina, but also health. But the problem is, I never quite got enough Magicka and Magicka regeneration. And this is why Shackle Breaker is so good, because it gives you both, and it couples really well with Jewels of Misrule. It's food, so it won't work with Bone Pirate. But it's just terrific. It gives you health and both Magicka and stamina recovery. Then I use Tri-Stat pots, very good. Again, keep using them, no-brainers. I use then this Essence of Immovability, which both makes me immovable, but also reveals hidden players around me in a radius of 20 meters. It gives me Magicka recovery and also Magicka back, so this is great again for your Magicka sustain. And then Essence of Invisibility, when things go really pear-shaped and I need to get out of there, I just pop one of them. It gives me invisibility for 36 seconds. Now, if you had your medicinal use passive in your alchemy tree, that will go up to, I think it goes up to 40 something seconds. So I've not unlocked it yet, not because I don't have the reagents or don't have the gold, but simply because I'm lazy, but I'll have to do it. And so that grants me not only invisibility for quite a bit, but it also grants me movement speed that couples really well with the fact that I'm a vampire that moves quite fast even when in stealth. And then I've got, you know, these crappy stamina pots, the ones that you loot from monsters. I still use them for when I don't want to use a Tri-Stat pot, because let's face it, they're quite expensive. So if I'm only in need of stamina and I'm not under any pressure, I just pop one of these and I am good to go. Now my stats are like this: fully buffed. This is my stats. Very good weapon damage, very good stamina and Magicka recovery. Come on, for being a stamina build, I've got almost 1.4k Magicka recovery and almost 2.5k stamina recovery. I've got 21, well, here is, I'm in no-CP campaign, by the way, and the reason why my health threshold goes above the 20k simply because we've got Emperorship. So you're just under 20k, which is very good in no-CP. Very decent Magicka pool and very decent stamina pool, and nice crit as well. As I said, I am a stage 4 vampire, and I use as the serpent boon for again a bonus to my stamina recovery. When you're in no-CP campaign, you want to make sure that you manage your resources well, because if you run out of either magic or stamina, especially as an Nightblade, you're just dead. That's it. And so yeah, these are my stats. Now let's take a look at my skills. Front bar, I've got Mass Hysteria for hard CC, Rally, Ambush as a gap closer, Surprise Attack as my main spammable DPS, and then I've got a Reverse Slice as a finisher. Now if you wanted, you could drop a Reverse Slice and use Killer's Blade. Many Nightblades, many Stam Nightblades are using Killer's Blade instead of Reverse Slice, simply because Killer's Blade costs a lot less. You see, Reverse Slice over 1500 stamina, Killer's Blade less than 1400. And again, it's all about resource management in this patch. And this is why many Stamina Nightblades are turned into Killer's Blade. The only problem with Killer's Blade is, it's not as forgiving as Reverse Slice. Reverse Slice starts proccing, really, deals extra damage once your opponent's health falls below 50%. But Killer's Blade, it works in the same way, but when it falls, when the enemy's health falls below 25%. So it's a lot less forgiving than Reverse Slice. And the other problem with it is, if you're in a place such as, say, Imperial City, where you'll be surrounded by trash mobs and whatnot, you don't really have any AoE attacks on this build, and so the fact that Killer's Blade is completely single target doesn't make it so good. In that case, I would rather go with Reverse Slice, but I still go for Reverse Slice even in No-CP campaign and even in Battlegrounds, simply because the splash damage is too good, and very often I've been executing enemies, multiple enemies at the same time. Then on my back bar, I've got Shuffle, I've got Resolving Vigor, and I've got Shadowy Disguise. I've got Poison Injection for a very nice dot, and Relentless Focus. Now, if you wanted, you could swap Relentless Focus for Shade. Okay, if you like playing that way, I'd rather have the extra damage, unless I'm outnumbered and I'm playing solo. I will probably put Shade either in here or instead of an Execution, since I put so much pressure on the opponent with my 4 dots that very often they die before I can execute. And you could use Incapacitating Strike instead. Again, Incap is the best ultimate for Nightblades, so always keep it on your front bar. On your back bar, I use Flawless Dawnbreaker because, again, when I'm under pressure and I'm surrounded by various enemies, I just make sure I align them all before me, and then I don't break them. Not only I do a ton of damage, but I also stun them all at the same time, which helps out quite a lot. Now, because this is a Fighter Guilds skill, you get all these nice bonuses, such as increase your weapon damage by 3% for each Fighter Guild ability slotted. You could go with the other morph if you wanted, that gives you more weapon damage passively, but I much rather prefer Flawless Dawnbreaker. Now, the reason why I call it the vicious build is because it just puts so much pressure on you with 4 dots. It applies 4 dots at the same time. Now, the first dot is Poison Injection, that increases in damage once your enemy's health drops below 50%. So that in itself counts as an executioner, and because it counts as an execution, it procs your Sheer Venom. Now, Sheer Venom is great because it gives you max stamina, double weapon damage bonus, which is great for all your skills all round, and then it applies dot damage, extra dot damage, 8,134 poison damage over 6 seconds every time you use an execute ability. Now, this works with both Poison Injection, and it works with any other execution that you could use, Reverse Slice or Killer's Blade. So we're already here at 2 dots, and then finally you get the 2 dots from your double poison here. You have no idea just how much pressure all these dots firing off at the same time just put on your opponent, especially in a no-CP context. I just cannot emphasize just how much pressure this build puts on its opponent, and I really strongly recommend it. It's so much fun to play. It's not too dirty because it doesn't rely so much on bursty proc sets such as Celine or Viper. If you wanted to play it less dirty, you could get rid of this and just go with a normal enchant on your 2H. I've got weapon damage enchant, but oblivion damage is also very, very good, especially against shield stackers, because it's damage that cannot be mitigated either by a shield, physical shield or a magical shield. But yeah, that's why it's called vicious, because once it procs, you can cloak away and still do a lot of damage. And very often it's happened that someone got away from me and actually died by the damage. It got executed by all my poisons sticking on him and just eating away its health pool. So yeah, great set, and yeah, great build. The only downside to Sheer Venom is that it's bugged. Now this is something that is majorly disappointing. In the previous patch I used to use Sheer Venom, Vice Cannon. It was great, it was giving me health back, it was an amazing set. But every time it procced on DKs with the reactive armor on, the poison tick would expose me. And this is happening again with this set. So this is really the only downside to it, and I would encourage everyone in the community that are interested in this set to actually write something on the forums about it, because it needs to be fixed. Not only that, not only does the tick reveal you, but somehow the damage gets reflected onto you, which is not supposed to happen. So when I go against teams that have loads of Dragonites, be they Stamina or Magicka, I often resort to just swapping my gear, get rid of Sheer Venom, and use something like Senshi. Now Senshi, I'll show you right here. Senshi is very good. Where is it? Yeah, there you go. Senshi is very good because it gives you extra stamina recovery, weapon critical, max stam, and then this massively good fifth piece bonus. When you use roll dodge, your weapon damage is increased by 415 and your weapon critical rating is increased by 657 for 5 seconds. So I basically give up on dots, or at least as many dots as I could do with Sheer Venom, and just go for raw damage. But this is not really a play style that I enjoy too much. I only resort to this when I just can't suffer being revealed by this silly bug any longer, which is rare, because even when it does happen, this set and this build is still quite effective. So there you go, that's the only downside. I'm gonna leave a link in the description to a forum that I'm gonna post on a post that I'm gonna post on the forum about this, so please go and support it. Let's try and raise it up. Let's hope that it gets fixed with the next maintenance or whatever. That would be great. Now let's move on to my champion points. Here they are. I mean, I've not even tested them properly because I've only been playing this since no-CP. I've got 10 points in Siphoner, 24 into Warlord, 16 into Sprinter. I've got 75 into Mooncap, 43 into Aconist. I would probably get these 10 points and move them either into Warlord or Sprinter or anything else. In fact, I might even move them into Tumbling since I roll dodge a lot. Befoul, I've got a few points into here just because of in-cap. I want to be able to reduce people's ability to heal themselves a little bit more. And nothing here. I've got 15 points into Shattering Blows against shield stacking players. 15 into Physical Weapon Expert since I do a lot of light attacking. 47 into Master at Arms. 23 into Thaumaturge. I could actually put more points in here since I've got so much dot damage going on at the same time. I've got Precise, 30 points in Precise Strike, 30 into Pincing, and 50 into Mighty. 37 into Ironclad. 12 into Spell Shield, since I'm a vampire and fire does a lot of damage to me. 38 into Resistant. 23 into Thick Skinned. This is here especially when I go against Magicka DKs. They put so much fire dots on me, and it's nice to be able to mitigate some of that damage. And 50 into Hardy. 50 into Elemental Defender, and that's pretty much it. Right, so I strongly encourage you to try it out. It's so fun, it's so effective. It's gonna cause you to do so much damage and collect so many points during your battleground matches. And yeah, you simply will not regret it. If you like this sort of things, if you like this sort of videos, please leave a like and subscribe, and you know, to receive more of these videos. And also click on the little bell icon to receive notifications for any time I upload something new. So thank you so much for your support. This week we reached more than 200 subscribers, which is absolutely great. Again, I started it just for fun, and I'm still doing it for fun. And I really appreciate the fact that not only so many people follow me, but the fact that I can give something back to the ESO community and help out other players that are maybe just starting out and need a bit of a hand. So yeah, thank you so much for the support, and good luck out there. See ya.